It is Thursday, the 22nd day of April 2021. We've come to a bit of a crossroads here on the program. This episode will mark the end of season 2 for the shows. I'm going to take some time off to figure out how to build some more engagement, rework the format, finish up the broadcast palace, make sure that's up and running. The problem is that I thoroughly enjoy yelling into the void occasionally, as I've mentioned before. And in this case, I have at least 3 regular listeners of the show. And while I'm certainly appreciative, I was hoping that there would be more of an audience for an outlet, I guess, for the daily complaints and observations. Clearly, I've misjudged, I don't know, all of humanity, I guess. So I'm still going to be doing a pod because, as I've said a million times, I thoroughly enjoy it. But I think some structure is in order. I have to figure out a better way to create content. I mean, I can sit here and complain and bitch and whine all day, but clearly nobody wants to listen to that. As I've seen numbers plummet over the course of the last, I would say, few months, which has been interesting. So at one point, people seemed to find my nonsense interesting, and then all of a sudden stopped, which I can understand. That makes perfect sense. So we're gonna talk about a handful of things. I got a few things on the docket that I want to talk about, and a few complaints that I received over the course of the last week or so. But yeah, so this is episode number 72, the Dan Deerdorf episode. Yep, Dan Deerdorf. Slim pickings, I tell you. This is Complaints and Observations.
The greatest podcast hosted by someone who knows so precious little about almost everything. A journey into the mediocre mind of an exceptionally average person. This is Complaints and Observations with Dave LaPointe. Who the hell is Dave LaPointe?
So I wanted to start with a story that seems to gone up and then come back down, and may or may not be done at this point. But excuse me. This story about this girl who apparently was a co-host of a Lakers podcast, and like the co-host was this guy Josh. See, and Josh seems like a decent enough guy, Lakers fan, and likes to talk about the Lakers, I guess, whatever. But the girl that was his co-host was this young lady, Vivian. And the story goes that they met via Twitter when she said she was at Kobe Bryant's memorial service at the Staples Center last year. And as the year went on, they decide, I guess, I don't know the timing But more or less, they decide, Josh and this girl, quote unquote, Vivian, decide they're going to start a podcast together, talk about the Lakers. All right, great. Sure, no problem. All of a sudden, the other day, this guy Josh puts out a tweet saying that Vivian is missing. So the story gets a bit convoluted in that from there, Twitter kind of takes off. Somehow, Kevin Durant is involved because Kevin fucking Durant is involved in everything and anything that has to do with the NBA. It's mind blowing how this guy, who is a professional basketball player, has so much time for shit other than professional basketball. Good for him. I mean, look, it's your job. Basketball's your job. It's not your life. Two different things. But it just seems odd that he's always fucking around, like literally everything. He's made more headlines this year off the court than he has on the court. So there's something called Twitter Spaces, which is like a clubhouse type of deal, audio conversational thing. And of course, Kevin Durant's hanging out in that. Somehow this comes up, and it's from there that the thing blows up. So this co-host comes out and says that this girl Vivian is now missing. The problem is that Vivian claims that she's going through leukemia treatment. So she's wearing a wig. And Josh here, who has never actually seen or met the young lady, doesn't know what sort of wig she might be wearing. So there's a lot of bullshit floating around, but you know, at this point there's no I don't know, I guess theory really behind it, other than fucking weird Kevin Durant like knowing more than he's leading on. So, you know, there's all kinds of people tweeting about it, like Markieff Morris from the Lakers tweeted about it. Ice Cube's son, O'Shea Jackson, he tweeted about it, oddly enough. But, you know, big Lakers guy. So there you go. Makes sense. So this guy, Josh, you know, he posted another picture of like apparently a direct message he got from Lakers security saying that they were going to help. And the whole thing just is weird. It's just weird. Then he comes out and says, hey, she's been found. You know, no problem. Everything's great. Carry on. Well, that's not how the internet works. And so now you have a lot of bored ass people sitting on Twitter like, all right, what the fuck is this? So people started going through Vivian's Twitter account, pulling out her pictures, quote unquote, doing reverse image searches, trying to figure out who this fucking person is. This is the part of the story that I find interesting. You have all these bored ass Twitter people that follow A, the Lakers, B, this podcast, C, this person, Vivian, and D, this other guy, Josh. Or E, which is the big one, NBA Twitter. That's a group of people that you don't want to fuck with, NBA Twitter, because they are a relentless bunch. They are loyal to the NBA. So there's just a lot there. You can't trifle with NBA Twitter. It doesn't go well, as you can tell from this fucking story. So now they're doing reverse image searches on all of this girl's pictures, and they're all bullshit. Then Josh comes out and he's like, oh, I haven't got an explanation from her. I don't know what's going on. Thought I trusted someone, blah, 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 yada, yada, yada. Then he's like, oh, I'm going to take a step back. I'm going to log off for a while. But he keeps tweeting. And he's sharing like videos of the first time they talked. And then somebody else comes out and says, oh, my friend was catfished by this girl in 2019. It's like, oh, geez, here we go. So, you got a lot of people now starting to feel bad for Josh that he's been catfished. One of those people happens to be a friend of his named Waleed Khan. He comes out, they post a video together, an emergency video explaining the potential catfishing. And as they continue, though, people began to notice things. How they fucking noticed, I don't know. But again, you have more bored ass fucking people on Twitter, including some dude, random dude now, who is I guess, out of work sound engineer. I think that's what he's termed himself as an out of work sound engineer. This fucking guy does like reverse engineering on the podcast and like pitches down her voice on the pod, and it apparently sounds exactly like Waleed's. Like, what the fuck? Who does that? Who is so interested in this story that they're going to take time out of their day? I mean, granted, look, if he's an unemployed sound engineer, obviously he has all the fucking time in the world. But then, okay, all right, so Vivian's Twitter account is still up, and she posts something. And she posts a video. And it's just a short video. She wants to say thank you to her diehard fans who always believed in her. And it was just her mouthing thank you, holding a piece of paper with her name on it. However, there was an issue. Her name was spelled wrong. It's like, oh boy. Oh boy. So whoever is catfishing this poor Josh, allegedly, has fucked this up royally by spelling the girl's name incorrectly. And so now, of course, people start going through Josh's tweets. But all of a sudden now, Vivian's Twitter account vanished. Gone. Whole fucking thing's gone. And they go and they find that Waleed has been spelling her name wrong the whole time, using an E instead of an A at the end of her name. Like, the whole thing is the amount of work that goes into it. And now here's Waleed, hasn't tweeted since this whole thing started, prompting people to think that Waleed has been running the catfish all along. Josh has been fighting back and, claiming racism and all this other bullshit. And, it's fucking, it's just odd. The whole thing is just weird. And, he's trying to say, Josh is trying to say that people should check. What does he say? People should check your preconceived biases, because the sound modulation from the unemployed sound engineer sounds kind of like Waleed. Apparently they're all racist. Such a fucking stupid thing to say, but what can you do? So it just goes to tell you, right? So now, of course, everyone's having fun with it. NBA teams are like, fucking Timberwolves have been tweeting shit. And the thing with the catfish is, right, there's no long-term plan. It's a very short-term game, right? If you're going to run a successful catfish, you really need to put in the time and the effort. Like, whoever this Vivian person is clearly did not think this out in the long term. And it seems that every catfish ends with a cancer story, right? Like, remember Manti Te'o, his girlfriend, cancer. I mean, because it's easy. Tons of people get cancer and people die from it. So, what the fuck? What's the big deal? Right? It's an easy way to get out of the catfish if you die. So fucked up. But you know what? That's what the Lakers get for being the fucking Lakers. You get a goddamn some fucking idiot catfishing some other fucking idiot talking about the Lakers. Like, of all the fucking things to talk about, like, what, honestly, what was the gain? What is the gain? Right? I can understand this Josh guy trying to, like, position himself as a podcast host with this attractive young Lakers fan, right? That part I get. But if he literally didn't know that he was being catfished, what is the catfish's game? What do they get out of it? Because it's completely anonymous. It's not like you can all of a sudden come out and be like, ha, it was me the whole time. Let's, I hope you're still fucking fans of me. 19,000 fucking Twitter follows. I have 34. Oh, fuck off. Maybe that's what is that what I need to do? Like pretend to be someone else? I would fail miserably. I would be the worst catfisher. I looked that up one time, why it's called catfishing. I don't recall. But I found that incredibly fascinating. So much good stuff. Anyways, that was a great way to start the show. I have nothing of substance this week. Okay, I have a handful of topics that I wanted to talk about, but nothing that I haven't touched on. I mean, I did an episode about the Super League the other day, and I got 2 people to listen, and apparently they only listened to the first 5 minutes of the 25-minute bit. But the Super League is over. So the Super League not only, fucking sucked from the jump, but it also fucked me because I did a whole 25 minutes on it, and it lasted 2 goddamn days. But the best part is you had John Henry coming out and groveling to Liverpool supporters. Oh, I'm so sorry. Soccer is about the fans. No, it ain't, you fucking skeleton. Go pound sand. You're a clown. This is shit that's been going on in the background for years. This is not something that just fucking came up out of nowhere. Oh, we're going to run a multi-billion-dollar fucking soccer tournament and just create it in a there it is. We just came up with the idea. No, you've been working behind the scenes on this shit for months, years. And now when you get called out on your shit, you're going to come fucking groveling. This is the difference between European sports and American sports. Okay? Massive difference. Mookie Betts gets traded. A bunch of Red Sox fans are pissed. What does it matter? It doesn't. Fucking these assholes overseas do something like that, and fucking shit goes down. There's legitimate fucking protests, fire in the streets. Soccer is not to be fucking trifled with. Soccer fans do not fuck around. A German team was just relegated. Schalke. Historical club. The Bundesliga is a different animal. Germans are different animals. So, game is over. They lose. They get relegated to Bundesliga 2. Right? Players are trying to get out of there. Next thing you know, they're literally being chased down by their own fucking supporters. Chased down the fucking street. What were they going to do when they caught these players? I mean, they weren't, and they didn't. A bunch of fucking fat beer swilling Germans aren't going to catch, soccer players. Not going to happen. What were they going to do? Fucking beat them up? For what? But that's soccer for you. That is European soccer. Imagine last year, the end of the Red Sox season, if fans waited outside of Fenway Park to beat the fucking piss out of, I don't know, Martin Perez. Fucking a bunch of dudes from Dorchester standing there with bats Waiting for you, Martin. We're gonna kick your fucking ass, kid. You just gave up 6 earned and 2 2/3. You're fucking dead. It would have been a scene, man. That's the difference between the two fucking sporting universes. Universi. I don't know what the plural is. But that's the difference. European soccer fans are fucking bananas. Bananas. All right. There's some other. Well, let's stick with that topic. James Corden was on. He did a rant, and I thought poor James Corden was gonna cry. James Corden. I don't know. If you're into that sort of thing, great, no big deal. I don't dislike the man. He's a West Ham supporter, so he's all right in my eyes. I don't really find him overly entertaining. I think he nailed, or whoever came up with the idea for him, that carpool karaoke thing, which unfortunately in the middle of a pandemic is not exactly viable. But he has fucking ridden those coattails for a long time, and it's worked out wonderfully for him. So bravo, Jimbo. Nicely done. But the poor man, he was talking about the Super League, and I thought he was going to cry. I felt bad. But again, that's just another way that shows the difference between European sports fans and American sports fans. We do not have that attachment. We don't. And you won't fucking, you can't tell me otherwise. That attachment does not exist. It just doesn't. All right, we're going to talk about other shit. Hold on. I'll be back in a second. All right, a couple other things that I wanted to touch on. First and foremost, friend of the show, Brittany Collins, who, if you listen to the show or if you have any sort of recollection whatsoever, you will remember that she was the UMass women's tennis player who came on the show to talk about sanctions handed down by the NCAA for a $520 administrative mistake, basically, is the best way to put it. And so the NCAA stripped UMass of like 2 years worth of wins, an A10 title, just typical fucking sketchy bullshit NCAA kind of crap. Well, today it came out that Brittany had written an article with the Players Tribune, which I thought was fucking cool as hell. And it was an excellent article. And if you haven't read it, you should find it. Go to the Players Tribune. You could probably just type in UMass Tennis or Brittany Collins, Collens. Collens. Brittany Collins. Great kid. Very nice. And so, but the best part is a quote that she had in there. Quote, "The NCAA has no moral compass. That's the truth. The only compass they have points right to the money," end quote. Oh, just delicious. A great fucking piece. So check it out. It's really well worth it if you have any sort of interest in, amateur sports, the way that this country sort of looks at amateurism and how it's not, especially the highest levels of college sports. It is not amateurism. Shamateurism is a word that's been used and tossed around. It's very accurate. And it's funny because one of the things that I mentioned on my Not an Episode about the Super League is how in America, something like that could happen with college football. And we would be talking, hundreds of millions, billions of dollars for X number of schools if they decided to break away from the NCAA. So, the whole thing just fucking reeks. It just kind of goes to show how bullshit the NCAA really is. They pick and choose their battles. And I really hope that the NCAA fucking falls in their face with this stupid thing. Because, one, they're fucking screwing a lot of good kids that did nothing wrong here. Nothing wrong whatsoever. But the Players Tribune, please check it out. It's a great article. Oh. Fuck. Jesus. What else? So, if you saw that I posted on Instagram, you probably didn't see it because you probably don't follow me, but I got an email, the show got an email from Apple basically saying that you can now monetize your podcasts, which I got a kick out of. The thing that they're trying to do is literally just squeeze pennies out of shitty podcasts like mine. Most podcasts don't last more than, like, I think it's 3 episodes, and most don't last more than a couple months. So what they're trying to do is just squeeze a handful of pennies out of that. They're also trying to take money out of Patreon, which I don't know if you're familiar with, but Patreon is basically a service where you subscribe to literally anything for exclusive content. So I subscribe to one West Ham podcast that I used to listen to. They went behind a paywall at Patreon, so I pay £6 or £5 a month, which works out to, I don't know, $6.70 or something like that every month. So I have access to the podcast and exclusive team news and contests and shit like that. So, I mean, it's a way to give back to people who actually give a shit. But I found it amazing that Apple was sending me that email when they know full well that nobody listens to the show. So it's like, oh, hey, now you can monetize your podcast. Oh, can I, Apple? Can I really? Thanks. Hey, why don't I bend over and you fucking jam a wiffle ball bat at my ass while you're at it? Huh? Fucking stupid. It's shady as fuck. Everybody can see through it. But that's how everything has to be so fucking overly monetized now. Literally anything and everything. Like, just charge people to fucking access your podcast platform and call it a day. Let people fucking do their own shit, manage their own shit. Why does everybody have to fucking jump in the pool? Like this Clubhouse thing, it's basically it's so funny how Clubhouse is essentially a 3-person phone call, except it's not 3 people, it's however many people. But it's become so big so fast. Apparently has an evaluation, of $4 billion. Like, what? It was in beta like 2 months ago. Now it's worth $4 billion. Yeah, well, mainly because now everyone is copying their platform. So of course Facebook is going to have theirs, and Apple's probably going to have theirs. Twitter's got theirs, and I don't know. Everybody has to get their slice of the pie or cheesecake. Either one. So I found that I found it interesting and annoying all at the same time. You know what else I found annoying? I was listening to something the other day. It was another podcast, and the host of the show was telling a story. And you've all heard the yada, yada, yada when people are telling a story. And they say yada, yada, yada to sort of skip over things. That's how yada, yada works. This was a different one where they say da da da. And da 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 is like a means to move a story along. I'm like, what on earth is that? Why would you need, if you're telling a story, to move the story along? Now, I am an expert in bad storytelling. I'm terrible at it. I'm well aware. My brain moves faster than my mouth. But when this sort of clicked, the conversation was like, fuck, I really should have wrote down what the context was, but it was basically, it was more or less, it was talking about sales strategy and how using different questions for different clients and so on and so forth. So this, the person was saying, when you get someone on the phone and you're having, to talk about a project, da da da, and I'm like, but wait, go back. What was the da da da? Shouldn't there be more? That's filler. That's fluff. That means nothing. It adds nothing to the conversation, adds nothing to the story, other than having me that I have to stop you, or in this case, stop the podcast and go back and try to figure out what the da 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 was. So if you use that, I can't talk to you anymore. That was just something that fucking annoyed me, and I had to get to it. I guess, I don't know. One of these things where I'll write something down on my note sheet, and then by the time I look at it, I'm like, oh, it's not nothing. But I have so very little today that's what you get. You get da da da. Something else that has jumped out at me, and it's something I may have talked about this on the show before. I'm not sure, but it came up on Twitter again the other day, and I seriously am just baffled. There are a number of people who say that they don't need to wash their legs and their feet because they're in the shower and they're washing their upper body. So they don't need to wash their legs and their feet. Who are these people? What are you doing? I really have nothing more to add to that. I'm just so fucking confused by it. If you get in the shower and you don't wash fucking every square inch of your body that you can actually physically reach, what are you doing? You may as well just jump in a pool. What's the fucking difference? Jump in a lake. What's the difference? Nothing. You gotta scrub. You gotta wash. Especially your fucking feet. Your feet stink. It's a great old George Carlin bit, and I know I've mentioned this on the show before, where he says there's only 5 places on your body that you need to wash: your hair, your face, your teeth, your balls, and wait. It's more than that. your hair, your teeth, your balls, your ass, and your feet. And if you do it in the right order, you can use the same brush. That's the joke, and I fucked it up. So, ta-da! See what I mean? Yeah, I'm an idiot. I'm more of an idiot in this format than I am in real life. Way more of an idiot. Hacking into the microphone, too. Oh, Jesus Christ. So, yeah. Is that really a fucking thing? How is that a thing? You don't wash your legs and your feet. That's fucking... It's gross, number 1. It's stupid, number 2. It's childish, number 3. What are you doing? These fucking people. They're probably just disgusting people in general. That's all. Wash yourself. You're a fucking human being. I saw that Aerosmith's Get a Grip turned 28 years old the other day. I remember that album vividly. I remember the videos even more vividly. I got a lot of use out of those videos, if you catch my drift. That was, there was no need for me to share that, but hey, I did. Whatever. We're free to talk about whatever. That's the point of the show. Talk about whatever I fucking want to talk about. And if I'm going to talk about fucking Liv Tyler and Alicia Silverstone, God damn it, I will. All right, as it is Thursday, it is time for 3 gripes. Yeah, get fired up. Gripe number one. Groups with matching t-shirts or family themed t-shirts. This came up over the weekend, and it is fucking spot on. Spot on. I don't understand the need to advertise that you're on a family vacation when you're on a family vacation. What's the point? I really don't have much else to add to that. I just don't fucking understand it. So let's say you're on vacation as a family. Let's say it's you, your spouse, your children, maybe your in-laws are all there, and you all have matching t-shirts on at, I don't want to use Disney World, but I think I have to. You're all at Disney World. You're all wearing t-shirts that say like Smith Family Vacation 2021 with some mouse ears on it. And what's the point? So if you all stand as a family for a picture in front of Cinderella's castle, are people not going to know where the fuck you are? If you take a picture in front of the Epcot Center, like that fucking bubble, I know it has a name, but I don't know what the fuck it is. Are people not going to know where the fuck you are? You'll never wear that t-shirt outside of that particular location, will you? No, unlikely. I just don't see the need. It seems like an expense that you don't need to make. And there'll be pushback. I can hear people saying, well, yeah, you want to remember your time. Okay, well, I went to Disney World when I was a kid. We didn't have fucking matching t-shirts. I remember that trip vividly. That was 30 plus years ago. So don't give me this bullshit about you want to remember the trip. Fuck off. You just want to make cute, kitschy t-shirts, and I get it. I love cute, kitschy t-shirts. I tried it. Only sold a few. Sold one to a crazy person. But what can you do? Thank you for your purchase. Both of you. Appreciate it. Thank you. Ed, you're still a crazy person. Rob, you're not a crazy person. So just clearing that up. But I don't understand the need for the matching outing t-shirts. So the only sort of difference, and I think part of the reason it came up is because we were reminiscing about a time that we went on a bar crawl and we were all in pink, but it was for a fundraiser for breast cancer. So you all had to dress the same, which makes perfect sense. It's a fundraiser for breast cancer, not a family trip to fucking Niagara Falls. We don't need matching anything. All right. Gripe number 2. Mother's Day ads with vacuums and cooking shit. Like, it just seems lazy. We got 2 flyers in the mail the other day. One was Macy's and the other was Bed Bath & Beyond. Both of which, said, shit about mom. So obviously Mother's Day is coming up. So it's buy shit for mom. And inside of it, pots and pans, vacuum cleaners, a variety of kitchen items, bedding. It's like, what the fuck? What are you doing? What are you doing? It's 2021, for fuck's sake. Grow up. You know what should be in there? Jewelry. That's it. That's what fucking should be in a Mother's Day advertisement at Macy's. You sell jewelry, there you go. That's what it should be. jewelry, and gift cards. Like, here's a gift card to buy whatever the fuck you want. And then if you're a dad and you buy your wife a fucking vacuum cleaner for Mother's Day, you're a fucking douchebag. You could buy her kitchen shit, but she better want that kitchen shit. It better be vocally expressed. Because it just seems horribly sexist that that's what they would be advertising. And if you have kids and your kids give your fucking wife a vacuum cleaner, like, oh, man. Because, like, what's she going to do if she gets the kids come running out and they're struggling to carry this big box. Oh, Mom, happy Mother's Day. We got you a gift. And it's a fucking vacuum cleaner. Like, what's Mom going to do? She's not going to fucking yell at the kids, right? I mean, I guess she could. You fucking assholes, you ungrateful motherfuckers. I clean this house all fucking day. What are you getting for your father for Father's Day? A coffee mug? Fuck him. Guess what? You're going to learn how to vacuum now, you ungrateful fucking assholes. Smooth move by Dad with that, huh? Completely hypothetical scenario. Good stuff. But I don't understand. It just seemed, I don't know. It didn't seem, I don't want to say right, but I guess that's probably the correct terminology for it. Didn't seem right. I don't know. It felt a little shitty. Let's just be real. Gripe number 3. Parking tickets. Last week, went to get my hair cut. Tweed Barbers, Washington Street, Boston, Massachusetts. Free ad. Go see Ali. Ali kind of messed up my beard this week. But Ali, in his defense, is trying to like fucking trim around my fucking mask. So this was the first time since they reopened back in June that I've had an issue here. So I have 0 issues. Anyway, so all the parking in front of Tweed on Washington Street, metered parking. And I was running a tad late as it was. Probably got in there 6:05 maybe. Well, tad late. Appointment's at 6. Got in 6:05. By 6:40, I want to say 6:43, 6:45, I was back out to the car. Now, I didn't put money in the meter because I was late. So I'm like, fuck it, Never had a problem. Never had a problem. Occasionally I'll put money in the meter. Occasionally I won't. But a lot of times if you go to pay with a fucking card in the meter, it takes forever and a day. And I didn't have any change. So I was like, fuck. And of course it's like, $8 to park on the street in Boston now. It's not really $8, but way too much money. You need a pocket full of fucking change. So I come back and get in the car, and sure enough, I look in the windshield, and there's my parking violation. So I said 6:45 is when I sat back down in the car. 6:22 was the time of the violation. So I was there for 45 minutes. The spot I had was not like a high traffic spot. The business I was in front of was actually closed. It was empty. It was for lease. So there was nothing in there. So it's not as if I'm taking up prime real estate. There was a pizza joint down the street, a Citizens Bank, which probably closes at 6 o'clock. There was nobody in there, and I come out, and fucking meter maid walking up and down the goddamn street, handing out fucking tickets. $40 fucking dollars. 40. The city of Boston has a lot of fucking nerve because, especially, here's what really fucking frosted my balls, okay? At the bottom of the fucking ticket, pay for parking with your phone. Get the app, park.boston.gov. Do you think that was fucking posted anywhere? I don't know. On the fucking meter? Nope. Now, would it have made a huge difference? Probably not. Probably still would have fucking got the ticket. But the point is, 45 minutes in a shit spot, and it cost me more than $1 a minute. Because if I stood there with my card and it would have taken 5 minutes for that fucking shit to go through, I don't know. Just one of these things that it's such a major inconvenience of life, a parking ticket. And these people that don't pay their parking tickets, I don't fucking get it. You're in a fucking world of hurt if you rack up a bunch of parking tickets and you park somewhere that you're not supposed to park and they see that you have a shit ton of unpaid parking tickets. Guess what? They're taking your car and now you're fucked. That is a massive inconvenience. Massive. To deal with the fucking tow lot. I've talked about that on the show. What a massive pain in the balls. And I only fucking parked in like a handicap spot on a non-game day at Fenway. It was just somebody being a fucking douchebag. But holy fuck. Yeah, parking tickets. Fuck you, parking tickets. Not a fan. All right, so that's the end of the show. As I said, this is the season 2 finale of Complaints and Observations. I hope you enjoyed the program. You probably didn't, but that's okay. I would ask that if you would like to get in touch about being on the show for season 3, please let me know. Show mail at complaintsandobservations.com. If you have my number, you can send me a text. You can go to the Twitter page at ComplaintsPod. You can go to the Instagram page at ComplaintsPod. I do have a Facebook page. Don't use it because fuck Facebook. I have a YouTube page that I busted out that live video. I think 2 people have watched. One of which was Brian. Brian, thank you very much. He commented and said, it worked. Thank you, Brian. Appreciate it. But the camera on this fucking old ass laptop isn't gonna play. So I'm probably going to need to replace the laptop at some point. So we'll see. I'm guessing. So what's today? Today is the 22nd. The 1 year anniversary of the show, I believe, is the 7th of May. So I think, maybe I'll start up the show then. I'd like to, at the very least, I'll do a show on the 7th. I'll do a show on that day. I have put in an order with my friend Ken to do a brand new intro. Wrote the script for it. Very excited. Only because his voice is fucking pure liquid gold. Fucking shit's a year old, and every time I hear it, I crack up. I don't know what it is. I find it very entertaining. Check out The Quiet Violent on Instagram. Check them out. They did the intro for the show. That's not it. Oh, Jesus. Fucking A. But yeah, so that'll do. I appreciate it. Thank you very much. And if you want to be on the show, please, or if you have any ideas, if you have any suggestions, I'm all ears. I'm open. It's still going to be me complaining about shit. It's still going to be you, hopefully, complaining about shit and making observations. That's what I want. I want people to call in and complain. 617-65-RIP-'em. Call in, complain. Complain about something. You're not going to fucking tell me that your life is perfect. You can go fuck off. You're wrong. But thank you as always. I appreciate it. Please tell your friends. Go back and listen to any of my episodes. They're all equally as terrible. But you might get a laugh or two in there somewhere. But until next time, until season 3, take care of yourself. Take care of each other. Godspeed. Ta-ta.
I am without speech. I am speechless.